Hello and welcome to the Friday, July 18th, 2025 edition of the SANS Internet Storm Center's Stormcast. My name is Johannes Ulrich, recording today from Washington, D.C. And this episode is brought to you by the SANS.edu Graduate Certificate Program in Purple Team Operations. Well, after spending maybe a little bit too much time with alternate data streams, Xavier decided to look at the Linux side of this particular problem and figure out how something similar can be done in Linux. Of course, Linux does not have alternate data streams, but it has, something a little bit similar, extended attributes. Extended attributes can be used for things like mark of the web, just like in Windows with alternate data streams. It can also be used to, for example, encode POSIX ACLs, which is one of the probably more common uses of XAttr or extended attributes. Xavier implemented a little script that can be used to take some data, then base64 encoded and split it up across different files and append it as extended attributes. He also wrote a script to then retrieve the data again. So that's pretty much all you need to then hide data in extended attributes. Extended attributes can also be just search for, and that's another thing that Xavier wrote, a little script to find files with extended attributes, and basically list the name of these extended attributes as well as the content to allow you to double check if, well, these are normal, like for example, POSIX ACLs, or if there's maybe some malware hiding data in this particular file. And Cisco patched a critical vulnerability in its Identity Services Engine, or ISE, as well as ISE PIC. And this vulnerability allows an unauthenticated user to gain arbitrary code execution across the network as root. So it gets the full 10 out of 10 for a CVSS score. This vulnerability is related to the API that's implemented in the Identity Services Engine. And, well, there's not a lot of detail available at this point, but it just states that input to the API is not properly validated. And Oracle released its quarterly critical patch update. This particular update fixed 309 different vulnerabilities. Apparently, 9 of these are considered critical, and we do have 144 that are considered at least high based on a CVSS score, being between 7.0 and 8.9. Now, it's a lot of vulnerabilities, but it's also understood that this applies across the entire Oracle portfolio. There are about 111 affected products for these particular vulnerabilities. I sort of browsed through it a little bit. I saw quite a number of vulnerabilities that are related, for example, to the Apache Beans library. The Beans utility library has had vulnerabilities in the past. And what Oracle is doing here is just updating this component across its products. Also, some Apache Tomcat and Apache Mina vulnerabilities that are being addressed in this update. The issue with some of these open source vulnerabilities is that they have been around, they have been known for a while. So Oracle is playing a little bit catch up here, and it is very possible that there are already exploits under development or have been released for these vulnerabilities. They may just not have been adapted for these particular Oracle products. So there is a chance that exploit development could happen pretty quickly. And Broadcom released updates for its VMware portfolio. VMware ESXi, Workstation Fusion, as well as VMware tools are affected. Many of the vulnerabilities do allow VMware escape, but do require that an attacker has administrative privileges on the affected virtual machine. These type of vulnerabilities are often of concern to malware reverse engineers that may run malware inside virtual machines. But of course, this is also something an attacker could use to escalate privileges and do lateral movement in any kind of corporate VMware setup. Well, and that's it for today. So thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for leaving good comments for this podcast in your favorite podcast platform. And talk to you again on Monday. Bye.